After being reborn, I decisively deleted all of Anthony Reed's contact information. He chose to attend the University of Washington in Washington, while I chose Cornell University in New York. My goal was to separate myself from him, to be far away where I would never encounter him again. When Anthony came back during the holidays and asked me out for spaghetti, I flew abroad for vacation instead. I blocked his WhatsApp account and ignored his emails without replying. When he started working at my company, I immediately submitted my resignation letter. I didn't even want to see his back. In my previous life, I was obsessed with Anthony for 20 years and was let down by him for 20 years. In my 30s, I developed a terminal illness as I was dying. Anthony was busy preparing for his wedding to Mariana Allen and Grace Reed. The adopted daughter we had raised together was sweetly helping him arrange his suit. I died alone in that hospital room, drawing my last breath. I would never walk down such a ridiculous path again when the heart monitor let out its piercing alarm. I was staring intently at the hospital room ceiling. I had struggled to live for 35 years, but I never imagined my life would end in the small room reeking of disinfectant. A voice rang out, blood pressure dropping continuously. Quick, prepare the epinephrine. The shouts of doctors and nurses gradually grew distant. I had no family by my side, no friends to see me off on my final journey. Anthony should be at the wedding venue right now, placing that diamond ring on Anna's finger, the ring he never bought for me, and Grace, whom we had raised together for 10 years, was probably sweetly holding their rings. How ironic. The people I had loved with everything I had were celebrating my disappearance at the final moment of my life, in the last second before my consciousness faded. I made a wish. If there's a next life, I never want to meet Anthony again. A voice called out, Eleanor, get up. You're going to be late. Eleanor Ward is my name. My mother Chloe Ward's voice yanked me back to reality. I opened my eyes to see my 18-year-old bedroom. Light blue curtains hung beside my desk, which was piled high with study materials. The University of Washington's admission brochures from previous years were still posted on the wall. Today was 2 months before the SAT. I had been reborn. I walked to the mirror. The reflection showed no traces of time's passage, no wrinkles from long-term depression, no gauntness from chemotherapy. I had smooth long hair, bright eyes, and a healthy body. Tears flowed down my cheeks involuntarily. What's wrong? Did you have a nightmare? Chloe asked. She handed me a towel with concern. I quickly replied, I'm fine, Mom. I wiped away my tears and showed my first smile since being reborn. I just suddenly figured some things out. I said, on this day in my previous life, I had an emotional breakdown over a failed exam. Back then, Anthony was still the boy I had a crush on. He comforted me. From that moment on, I began my 20-year obsession. But this time, I scored in the top 10 of my grade. Eleanor, you're amazing. My deskmate Luna Taylor said excitedly. She patted my shoulder and continued. The math was so difficult this time, but you did so well. I smiled, not rushing to tell Anthony about my good grade like I did in my previous life, because I knew that right now, Anthony was at the court receiving a bottle of water from Anna. In my previous life, I had run over crying about my poor performance. Anthony happened to be drinking that bottle of water then, but back then, my head was full of romantic thoughts. I only heard Anthony's comfort and didn't notice Anna's sarcastic remarks beside him. Luna, which university do you want to attend? I asked casually. Luna replied, Cornell University in New York. Both my parents work there. She sighed and continued. But you know, my grades haven't been great. I'm not confident. In my previous life, I had chosen the University of Washington where Anthony was going without hesitation, giving up better options. But this time, I wouldn't. Let's work hard together. I want to go to New York too, I said. Luna's eyes widened. Didn't you always say you wanted to go to the University of Washington with Anthony? People change, I said softly. I looked out the window. Anthony was embracing Anna's waist. I suddenly think New York sounds nice, I said. On the day the SAT ended, our entire class had dinner together. Anthony unexpectedly sat next to me. He handed me a glass of juice and asked, I heard you're going to New York. Didn't you say before that you wanted to stay in Washington? I took the cup but didn't drink. My plans have changed, I said directly. Anthony lowered his voice and asked, because of me? If it's about Anna and me, you're overthinking it, I replied coldly. I set down the cup and looked him straight in the eye. I just think New York suits me better. Anthony was stunned. In my past life, I never dared to look at him so directly. I was always walking on eggshells, carefully trying to read his moods. Anthony hesitated for a moment before finally saying, actually, Anna and I broke up. I almost laughed out loud. History has a way of repeating itself. In my past life, he told me the same news at this exact moment. I believed him and was determined to apply to the same university he was going to. But just as I was preparing to confess my feelings, he got back together with Anna. I stood up and said indifferently, that's none of my business. I wish you all the best, Anthony. With that, I walked toward Luna under his bewildered gaze. This time, I wouldn't stay for him anymore. Afterward, I deleted all of Anthony's contact information and took some short domestic trips with Luna. At a famous scenic spot, Luna took deep breaths of the fresh mountain air. This place is beautiful. Eleanor, we're so lucky. I heard many people come up here on foggy days and can't see such gorgeous scenery, she said. Yeah, we're really lucky. I responded, but what I was thinking was, I'm so lucky to get a second chance at life. This time, I'm going to make the most of every opportunity. Luna added, I heard Anthony went abroad for vacation. Rich people have it so easy. I didn't respond, just gazed at the scenery before me. Before school started, while I was packing at home, I suddenly received an email. It was from Anthony. Eleanor, I brought you a gift from abroad. Want to grab dinner together? I glanced at it and deleted it immediately. I silently told myself, we'll never meet again. Anthony, Cornell University's campus was more beautiful than I had imagined. All the buildings were nestled among lush oak trees. We actually did it, Luna said excitedly. She grabbed my hand and ran happily across campus. Watching her smile, warmth flooded my heart. In my past life, because I was obsessed with Anthony and bent over backward for him, I had distanced myself from all my friends. In this life, I finally had the chance to choose differently. Eleanor, what clubs are you joining? I want to sign up for the dance crew, Luna asked. Flipping through club recruitment flyers, I pointed to a booth not far away. I'm joining the Entrepreneurship Association and the Financial Investment Research Society. Luna's eyes widened. So serious? That's not like you at all. I smiled without explaining. In my past life, I was consumed by romance and neglected my studies and career. In this life, I was going to reclaim everything I had lost. Time flew by, and before I knew it, I was a sophomore. My club partners and I developed a campus secondhand trading app. Initially, it was just a class assignment, but unexpectedly, it quickly became popular on campus. One day after class, a man in a suit approached me. Eleanor, would you be interested in having a chat? I'm Ryan Edwards from Venture Capital Base, and I'm very interested in your project, he said. The name Ryan hit my memory like lightning. In my past life, he was a famous figure in tech investment, making it onto the Forbes list in his 30s, and now, he was standing right in front of me, handing me his business card. Hello, I said, taking the card excitedly while trying to stay composed. However, our team has 5 people. I only want to talk to you. Ryan smiled. The creative idea for this project was yours, right? He had already investigated our team. My heart raced not from nervousness, but from excitement. This was the important opportunity I had completely missed in my past life. Ryan's office was in the tallest building by the Hudson River. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, the entire New York skyline was visible. It'll give you $2 million for a 20% stake. Ryan pushed a contract toward me. The condition is that you must commit full-time to this project after graduation. I remember your major is software development, which fits our requirements perfectly. I carefully read through the contract terms. The business knowledge I had accumulated in the clubs finally came in handy. The valuation is reasonable, but I'd like to retain ownership of the core technology patents, I said. Ryan raised an eyebrow. You know patent law? I've studied it a bit, I said, closing the document. Also, I'd like to retain a seat on the company's board of directors. I looked at Ryan with unwavering determination. He smiled, meeting my gaze. Eleanor, you're full of surprises. The negotiation lasted 3 hours. In the end, we reached an agreement. Ryan would invest $2 million for a 15% stake. I would retain ownership of the core technology patents and secure an observer seat on the board. As I was leaving, Ryan walked me to the building entrance. You know, he said, I don't usually invest in college students' projects. Why did you make an exception this time? I asked. I was genuinely curious about why he had approached me. He said meaningfully, there's something in your eyes, a kind of hunger. It's not something someone your age should have. I was stunned. He had seen the soul of a middle-aged woman who had experienced life and death hidden within me. I smiled and said, I hope I won't disappoint you. Then I turned and left, without telling him that this hunger came from the regret of dying alone at 35 in my previous life. 3 years after graduation, our company was valued at over $100 million. I bought an apartment by the Hudson River and brought my parents from Washington to New York. Luna became the company's marketing director, and there was always a subtle relationship between Ryan and me. Eleanor, the merger documents are ready, Luna said as she walked into my office, her face beaming with excitement. I looked up at her and asked with a smile, what happened? Why are you so happy? Then I lowered my head to continue reviewing the documents. Guess who the new CFO is? Luna asked me. Without looking up, I asked while reviewing the documents she brought. Who? Luna answered, Anthony. My fingers tightened suddenly, crumpling the contract. Luna was still immersed in the surprise of the coincidence and didn't notice my face had changed. She continued, you must feel surprised too, right? What a coincidence. I never thought we'd be working together. It's really fate. Are you sure it's Anthony from our high school? I asked. I stared at her face, hoping for a negative answer. Yes, he transferred from Washington last week. Apparently, Mr. Edwards specifically recruited him. Luna replied, finally noticing something was wrong with me. She asked with concern, are you okay? You look pale. I stood up and walked to the window, taking deep breaths. 6 years. For 6 years, I had deliberately avoided all occasions where I might encounter Anthony, even making excuses not to return to Washington for Christmas. I never expected fate would still push him in front of me. I'm fine. I turned around, my voice terrifyingly calm. Let's get ready for the meeting. In the conference room, Anthony stood in front of the projector in a sharp suit, introducing himself. At 25, he had gained more maturity than in high school, his every gesture exuding an elite aura. Anthony said, "I'm delighted to join this dynamic team." His gaze swept over everyone present. When he saw me, he paused noticeably but quickly returned to normal. I flipped through the materials expressionlessly, but my heart was beating uncontrollably. At this time in my previous life, I was already his wife, having given up my career to stay home and care for him and Grace. Just thinking about the scene of me dying in that hospital bed made me break out in cold sweat. "Ms. Ward, do you have any thoughts on the financial budget?" Ryan suddenly asked me. Everyone's attention turned to me. I looked up, meeting Anthony's probing gaze directly. "I have no objections," I said. I put down the pen that had become damp from my grip. Then I continued, "However, I have something to announce." The conference room fell silent instantly, looking at everyone. I said clearly, "I'm resigning."